Okay. So in the previous class, we have drawn the ER diagram for hospital database management system, right? And
Yes.
we discussed about what is a weak entity. So what's a weak entity? A weak entity is something which is dependent upon the owner entity. Okay, if the owner entity
Yes.
doesn't exist, weak entity will not exist. Okay,
Hmm.
so what are the characteristics of a weak entity? The characteristics of a weak entity are that it will not have its own key attribute. It will have something called as partial attribute. And whenever we have to identify it, we have to depend on both partial attribute and the key attribute of owner entity. To identify any record in a weak entity, we have to depend upon the partial attribute of the weak entity and also the key attribute of the owner entity. Right? And a weak entity is represented by double rectangles.
Yes.
Correct? A weak entity is represented by double rectangles. And there can be the cases where there can be records in the owner entity set without a weak entity. For example, there could be employees who doesn't have any dependents because he may not have purchased that policy. But if any record is there in the dependent entity, if you have any record in the dependent entity, definitely there will be a corresponding owner entity set.
Yes.
That's right. And a weak entity will have, that's why we are saying, because of this, we are saying that a weak entity will always have a total participation. Okay, whereas a strong entity or owner entity will have partial participation. And how do you represent a total participation? You represent it with double lines. Okay. And also, most of the time you'll find that the you'll find many-to-one relationship between the weak entity and the strong entity. And when you find a strong many-to-one relationship, you'll put an arrow. That's right.
Yes.
Okay. So now, and then we discussed about aggregation. What is aggregation? If a relationship set is completely participating in another relationship set, and that is called an aggregation. Okay. Okay. Right. So usually on the other side, on one side there will be entity of that relationship. On one side you'll find the entity. On another side of that relationship set you'll find another relation, not an entity.
So when do we use this aggregation?
Aggregation we can use, like for example, the example that I gave last time. That's one case. But don't worry, I mean, they'll not go. Nobody will ask you in depth. Okay? And even in the real time, I have not seen aggregation being used that often. Okay, but you should know that there's a concept called aggregation. Okay.
But it becomes complicated while drawing ER diagram when requirements like this will come. How can we?
No. Don't worry. I mean, never a requirement. I have never seen a question being asked. Given a requirement and they're expecting you to, it to be aggregation. Okay, that time they will not ask. If a question is asked on aggregation, it would be a direct question. Okay? That's for sure. So if they're asking you a question on aggregation, that will be a direct question. They'll ask you define aggregation or explain aggregation. That's it.
Okay.
Give an example. Okay, next. Now, so far we are seeing the ER diagrams. Okay. Now we will see that is called as ER model. Okay, ER model, ER diagrams. Okay. Now today we are going to discuss about relational model. Today we are going to start discussing about relational model. So in relation model, what you'll have relations. Obvious, right? What you'll have in relational model, you will have relations. What are relations? In relation is nothing but table. Okay, what is the relation? A relation is nothing but a table. So you call it a relation or you call it as a table, both means same. I'll put a slash here, okay? We call it as relation, we call it as a table, same. A table is called as a relation. Understood? Now, what is this equal? Okay, okay. So a relation or a table, both are same. Then what next? We have something called as attributes. Attributes of a relation. What is an attribute? Attribute is same as columns in the table. Attribute is nothing but you call it as attribute, you call it as column. Basically, every table will have a column, right? So both are same. Next, you call it as a tuple or you call it as row. Both means same.
Rows are also called records, no?
Rows are also called records. Yes.
Yes.
You can call it as records, you can call it as tuples, you can call it as rows. So let's compare this with our entity model, ER model. Let's compare this with our ER model. So in ER model, an entity, what we call it as an entity, is nothing but a table in relational model. Okay. And whatever we call it as an entity in ER model, that thing is called as table or relation in the relational model. So you will have student entity, which means student table. You have employee entity, that means employee table or employee relation. Okay. So whenever in the textbooks or anywhere, if you find the word relation, relation is nothing but table. Okay.
Yes.
Next, what are attributes? Attribute is nothing but attributes in ER model. Whatever you call them as attributes in ER model, those are nothing but columns in the student table or in the table of relational model. Okay. And what are then rows? What can be the rows? Any guess? What could be the rows? We are clear that relation or table is nothing but entity. We are clear that attributes are nothing but columns. And what could be the rows in a relational model? Think.
Don't know. Can't guess.
Sorry, you said something? One second, I'm getting a call. Okay. So we'll come back to this. Huh? We'll keep it as a suspense for some time. So if I have an employee table or an employee relation, okay, an employee table or employee relation, what can I have? Let's take an example. Okay. I will have employee ID. How to draw? I'm drawing an employee relation. Okay. I'm drawing an employee relation. What will it have? It will have an employee ID. It will have an employee name. It will have a department. It will have email ID of that employee. Maybe it can have passport number. Right. So I've just taken a small table containing 5 columns, which has employee relation. Okay.
Yes.
Spouse name. Okay. If same thing, if you have to represent in a ER model, how will you represent? You'll draw an entity, you'll draw a rectangle, you'll write employee, and then you'll draw oval shapes, right? You'll write employee ID, you'll write employee name, you'll write department, you'll write email ID, passport number, and spouse number as attributes, right?
Yes.
So now, when I'm saying that this entire table, let me write it down. Okay, let me write it down. So employee ID is 7459. Employee name Ramesh. Department HR department. Email ID ramesh12@gmail.com. Passport number M754321. Spouse name Geeta. Next 7460 employee ID. Employee name Suresh. Department IT department. Suresh12@gmail.com. Capital N 3240. Priya. Okay. Now, when I'm saying that this entire table is nothing but an entity in the ER model, and each column is nothing but an attribute in ER model, then what could be the each row? Each tuple and each row is nothing but an entity. In fact, I can say that the relational table is nothing but entity set, and rows and the tuples are nothing but the entities. Is it clear?
How, sir? How can it be entity?
Entities. What did we discuss in the first class? An entity set is represented with a rectangle, right? And what did we say? There is no diagram for the entities. What is an entity set? Collection of similar entities. So each record, each row is one entity.
Okay.
Collection of such similar entities is nothing but entity set. Understood? So yes. Yeah. So always remember this. Always remember this comparison between a relational model and ER model. Okay. Now, next. There are two terms that are often confusing. They are repeatedly used in the textbooks and are also asked in the exams and are confused. Okay, but remember degrees and cardinality. Degrees and cardinality. If somebody is giving you a relation and they're asking you the cardinality, okay, now how will you see it? So degrees is nothing but number of columns. Okay, degrees is nothing but number of columns. And cardinality is nothing but number of rows. Okay. If somebody is given you this employee relation and they're asking you what is the degree of this employee relation, what you will tell? What you will tell me?
6.
6 of 6, you are right. The degree is 6. And what is 6. The cardinality?
2.
Cardinality is 2. Remember this. And don't get confused. Okay, very easy, but yet I have seen a lot of students getting confused and they write cardinality in place of degree and degree in place of cardinality.
Yes.
So they can give you a relational model and they can ask you the degree of it and they can ask you the cardinality. Okay. Yes. Or they can give you one simple question, explain relational model. Then you have to explain all this. Yeah.
Sir, but if ER model is given, then we can't guess the cardinality, right?
ER model is given, we can guess the cardinality. No, here cardinality is different. Here cardinality is number of rows. Remember we studied something called as mapping cardinality. That is again different. Mapping cardinality is different. If they are given you a relational model and they are asking you the cardinality, then the cardinality will be equal to the number of rows. Okay.
But in ER diagram, we don't write number of rows, how many we will use.
No, they will not give you the ER diagram and they will not ask this question, degrees and cardinality. If they're asking you a question on degrees and cardinality, they have to give you a relational model table. Relation.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Huh? Just note them down.
Okay. Done, sir.
Good.
Yes.
Next. You should know how to convert given an ER model. Given an ER model, how should we convert it into a relational model? When I say relational model, see, when I say ER model, it is nothing but ER diagram. Okay. When I say relational model, it is nothing but table or relation. Okay. So the way I see it is, I'll divide it into three parts. Okay. I'll divide it into three parts. The first part, you have a table. You have an ER model like this. You have an entity A. You have a relation here, R. You have another entity B. Okay, A, R, B. Then you have attribute A1. A1 is a key attribute. It has A2. B has B1 as the key attribute. And there's one more attribute, B2. Okay. Next. So these are having M:1 relation. What is M:1 relation? You can put an arrow like this here. Or you can also put an arrow like this. Yeah. Okay, both means same. You can put an arrow here or you can put an arrow here. Okay? Both will represent MS2. Okay. Now understand, when a year model is given like this, now this is mapping cardinality. What is this? This is mapping cardinality. Okay. Right. So yeah. So when they are giving you a question like this, relation A, sorry, entity A, entity B with a relation in between them with the cardinality of M is mapping cardinality of M is to N. So, and they can ask you how many tables, if you are drawing a relational model for this, how many tables can be created from it? If you're drawing, you're creating a relational model from this, how many relations can be found from this table? Understood? When you're converting this ER model to relational model, how many relations can be created for this particular ER model? Okay, so what you have to do is you have to club these two. Okay, so club these two and you will get two tables. One table would be the combination of these two AR. Okay, what columns they will have? They will have A1. A1 will be the key attribute. A2. Okay, and there will be B1. B1 will be a partial attribute. Not partial. You can think of it as a key, foreign key. Okay, we'll come back to what is foreign key later. But for now, understand this is a foreign key. Okay. Now there will be another table, which will be B, which will have two columns, B1 and B2. Okay. We'll take an example of this and we'll in the further classes when we study, we'll take an example and then we'll get a clarity. But for now, understand, whenever you are given a relation which has having the cardinality of M is to 1, the relation will go with the entity A. Okay. Write it down.
Yes. Sir, because it is many is to 1, that's why we are writing combining A and R, right?
Correct.
If it was 1 is to many, then we would have combined R and B.
Correct. Whichever side you have M, that side you will come.
Okay, and M is to N, then AR and B are B both. If we have M is to N,
that's next case. That is next case.
Okay.
That's the next case that we're going to discuss.
Written, sir.
Written? Good. Okay. Next. Say we have two tables, A, relation R, and we have a table B. Same thing, A1, A2. This time you have M is to N relation. Okay. and B1. B1 is a key. Okay,
Yes.
understood. Now this time, if somebody is asking you how many tables will get created from this, you have to tell that answer is 3 tables. When it's a many to many relation, there will be 3 tables that will be created. One table is A, which will have these 2 rows, A1, A2. The second one is R, which will have A1, B1. The candidate keys of both the entities, will be the columns in this relation. And then together will form a key.
So what is candidate key?
We'll come back to that. But for now, understand that candidate key is something. Candidate key is nothing but key attribute. Okay, but there is a difference. We'll come back to that. Okay. What's the candidate? Here, when I'm saying candidate key or a key attribute, it means that that particular column is used to uniquely identify a row. Next, B will have 2 columns, B1 and B2. Okay, write it down. Better?
Yes.
Good. The last one. What is the last one? Any guesses? What kind of mapping cardinality it will have?
1:1.
1 to 1, right? Same thing I'm taking. Same example, same case. You have A1, A2 are the attributes of relation A. B1, B2 are attributes of relation B. And this time you have a 1-to-1 relationship. When it's a 1-to-1 relationship, how will you identify? If either they will give you like this, 1:1, or they will give you like this. If they're giving you 2 arrows, understand that it's a 1:1 relation. Okay.
Yes.
Now in this case, 2 tables will form. You can have, now this is special thing. You can either put relation R, you can combine it with A, or you can combine it with B. Okay. So in either case, you will have 2 tables. So you can have 2 tables. The 2 tables are AR, A1, A2. A1 is the key, and B with the B1, B2 as the columns, and B1 is the key. Or the 2 tables can be, you can club this R with B. You can have 1 table with A1 as the key, A2 as another column, and you can have another one, BR, with B1, B2 as columns. Okay, note it down. Did you have a database class today? DBMS class?
Yes.
What did the teacher teach you? Which topic?
Ma'am has started with SQL and she was teaching views in SQL.
Sorry, what? SQL and
Views.
views.
View.
Why so? I mean, why did she directly jump onto that topic, that chapter? She should have started from ER diagrams.
She started and she completed also.
What, ER diagrams?
Yes.
Wow, it's so fast.
Yeah.
You understand anything?
No.
So when did she teach you ER diagrams? Was it after our class has started or before that?
When our class started, at that time she was teaching, I mean finishing with it.
Okay. But now you are clear, right, with ER diagrams?
Yes. Sir,
Mhm.
here we are combining AR.
Correct.
So it is we are making it another
Table. It's a table.
another table. Okay.
Did you finish this?
Yes.
Let's take a question. If somebody is asking you, somebody has given you this ER diagram, professor. In your semester exams, simple questions will be asked. They will not make it much complicated. Okay. Professor teaches a course. Then the professor will have some ID. Will have a name. Will have a department. The course will have a course ID and a course name. Right? And the same course is being taught by multiple professors. So course is associated with many, sorry, a professor is associated with one course and a course is associated with many professors. So yeah, it's a M:1 relation. They'll give you, I mean, you don't have to confuse, you don't have to put your mind that what kind of relation it is between professor and course. If they're giving you M:1 relation, then okay, fine. Okay. Now draw the table for it. They can ask you, draw the relations for above diagram, or they can ask you to convert. They can ask you to convert the above ER model into relational model. They can ask you either to draw the relations for the above ER diagram, or they can ask you to convert the above ER model to relational model. Okay. Do it. I'll be back in a minute. So yes. So what are the two relations that we'll get from here? Yeah. Tell me.
One will be professor and with the relationship set, and other will be course. So
Yes.
first we'll have attributes, employee ID, name, department, and CID. And another table will have course ID and course name.
Correct. So three columns will be there in this relation. What is the relation name? You have to write it on the top. That it is professor. Yes. And you have to draw another table. The table name would be course.
Course.
We'll have column ID. Sorry, course ID and course name.
So in professor table we will have course ID as well, no?
No.
As foreign key.
No. Ah, correct, correct. Yes. Correct. That's a fast. Good. So basically, what we are doing, we are clubbing these two. Okay. Got me point?
Yes.
These two will be one table, and the other one will be one table. So, okay. Did I tell you that when in 1:1 model, when you're clubbing AR, you'll have A1, A2, and B1 will be the foreign key there. Did I tell you that?
No, you just told A1 and A2.
B1 will also. Another table will be B1 and B2. You can do like this, or you can have just a table with A1, A2. A1 is the candidate key, and another table will be BR, B1, B2, and A1 as the foreign key. B1 is the primary key. Got it? Yes, make that correction. Okay. So far it was pretty easy. I mean, if you are given like two entities and you have to draw the relational model from the ER model, it's not that difficult. I mean, if you know these three classifications, you'll be able to do. But things become a little bit complicated. I mean, not complicated, but yeah, generally we studied something called as descriptive attribute. Remember? What is
Yes.
descriptive attribute? An attribute of a relationship set is called as a descriptive attribute. Okay. So when you have to convert an ER model to a relational model, when you have a descriptive attribute, that's where it becomes important. Okay. We'll see some examples. Let me know once you have finished this chapter.
Yes, done.
Huh? Okay. I'll just give simple examples. I'll not make it complicated. So let's say you have student entity. Student studies. Student studies in a department. Now the studies the studies relationship set have a descriptive attribute called as duration. Studies have a descriptive attribute called duration, and it is a many is to one relationship. Many is to one. One department can have many students. A student can be associated with at most one department, and a department is associated with 0 or more students. Understood?
Yes.
Now, when I have to draw the ER relational model for this, what did I tell you? When it is a many to one relationship, these two will become one table, and this will become another table. Understood? So in that case, this descriptive attribute will go with this table. Will not. Yeah, this descriptive attribute will go with this table. Okay. Any doubts? So along with the attributes of the student table, you'll have one foreign key of the department table, and also you have duration column.
Separate column for duration.
Separate column for duration, because duration is also an attribute. So you'll make a separate column for it, where in the student table. Now, when it is a one-to-one, what was the next one? Many-to-one. Then we discussed about many-to-many.
Many-to-many.
Yeah, so let's go in that order only. Okay. Student studies subject. This is many-to-many. One student can study many subjects, more than one. 0 or more subjects, and a subject can be studied by as many students, right? So it's a many-to-many. So every subject, when he's studying that subject, he's given some grade. It's a descriptive attribute. Right? You're studying database management system, right? You'll get some grade in it, right? Your friend studies the same subject, she will have a different grade. So this grade attribute, I can't put it on subject. Neither I can put it on student. It has to be a descriptive attribute. Right? But since it's a many-to-many relationships, right? What did we discuss in many-to-many? Where will it go? It will not go anywhere. The relation, if you see the previous discussion, what did we do? How many tables were there in many-to-many relationship? Tell me.
3 tables.
3 tables.
Student,
Studies,
student,
and
subject,
and studies. So that now also there will be 3 tables. 3 tables. One table is student. One table is subject. And the third one is studies. Studies will have 3 columns. One column will be the key attribute of student table. One column will be the key attribute of subject table. And one column will be grade. Okay. One column will be the key attribute of student table. One column will be the key attribute of subject table. And one column will be grade column. How many tables we have? 3 tables. Why? Because it's a many-to-one relationship.
Many-to-many.
Sorry, many-to-many relationship.
Yes.
Okay. Let me know once you're done with this. We'll move to the next one. The last one, which is one-to-one.
Done.
What is the last one? One-to-one. So every department will have a HOD, head of the department. Head of the department will manage. Head of the department manages the department. There will be certain time for which he will be managing. Maybe he is managing for 2 years, maybe 3 years, right? So what kind of relationship it will have? It will have 1:1 because every department will have one HOD. HOD will be for one department. What did I tell in many to many relationship? Sorry, 1:1. The relationship can go either with the left side entity or it can go with the right side entity. Okay. So it can be moved to the either side. Similarly, this when it is moved to the either side, the duration column will move to that side. Can be moved to. So how many tables we will have? Two tables. Either it will be a combination of HOD and managers as one table in which you will have duration column and department ID will be the foreign key. And another table, department table, or you'll have one table where you have HOD, or you will have one HOD table and one department table. In department table, you will have department ID as a key ID, and you will have duration, and you will have HID as a foreign key.
Sir, give the example. I mean, with the help of attributes for this.
1:1. Take an example. You just put these columns. You will have some employee ID, correct? You will have an employee name. You will have department. This will have department ID. This will have department. Right. Now, first case can be you will have an HOD relation. You can have employee ID column, primary key, employee name. You'll have department ID as a foreign key. You can have duration. Same way another table. When you are drawing this, the department table will have just department ID, department name, employee ID will be the foreign key. Right? This is one scenario. Or the another scenario, what we said. We said that this duration, this can be moved to the either side. What is another scenario where you are
Sir,
having,
your employee ID will also come.
where department?
Uh,
Yes, as a foreign.
okay. But in this table also we have foreign key.
Which one?
In HOD relation.
Foreign
Yes.
key. Department ID is a foreign key.
Okay.
The other scenario is what? You have a HOD relation where you have employee ID, where you have employee name, and where you have department ID as a foreign key. And you are having department table where you have department ID, department name, employee ID as a foreign key, and duration column. Either we can have this, or we can have this. Okay. So that's how we convert the ER models into relational models, or ER diagrams into relations. Okay. So whatever I'm teaching you, they will not go beyond that. Okay. So don't go in depth. Okay. Take out some questions. Try to Google it out, or if you have a textbook or a material, or you have previous year questions, just check whether any questions are asked on this. So check that and understand. We have discussed everything. Okay. So understand, logically study this. Don't simply memorize. Understand the meaning of it. Okay. After this class, spend some 20 to 30 minutes on this topic. We will
Yeah.
explain it in a very simple way. Okay. No textbook,
Yes.
no class teacher is going to uh, show it so simple. Okay. I have
Yes.
simplified the concepts. So you'll be able to understand, because so far all the students to whom I have taught, everyone has understood. So I'm 100% sure that you will also understand. Okay.